continue.
Good morning, everyone. iTech India and COE Bowring welcomes all the participants for today's RDLS session. Today's RDLS topic is rapid initiation of ART for newly diagnosed PLHIV at ARTC, and the speaker is Dr. Mumtaz Ali Khan. Dr. Mumtaz Ali Khan is currently working as Assistant Professor in Department of General Medicine, BMC and RI, Bangalore. He has an experience of 9 years in clinical management and patient care, along with teaching undergraduate and postgraduate students at BMC and RI, Bangalore. We welcome you, sir, for today's session. And kindly continue the session, sir. So please unmute yourself. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can we begin the session, madam?
Yes, sir, please begin the session.
Hello and good morning to everyone. I welcome you all to this distance learning program. And today we are going to discuss the topic of rapid initiation of ART for newly diagnosed patients living with HIV. So, at the outset, I would like to tell what is rapid initiation. So, rapid ART refers to starting ART at least less than 7 days from the day of the diagnosis of HIV. So, we are going to look into the details of what exactly is this rapid initiation of ART, what was the need to come up with the rapid initiation of ART. We are going to discuss in the following headlines. Let's understand treat all policy and how it is different from the policy of rapid ART initiation. Comprehend the rationale for rapid ART. What was the necessity and how it is going to be beneficial? Discuss the NACO official memorandum and the algorithm which is provided for rapid ART initiation, and understand the special situations where even though ART needs to be started early, but in special situations we may not be able to start early. So we'll understand the dynamics of those situations. So firstly, India adopted the policy of treat all patients of HIV through the NACO program in 2017. So what treat all policy actually tells is all patients who are diagnosed with HIV, they are eligible for ART initiation regardless of CD4 count or the WHO staging. So that means all patients, irrespective of CD4 count, irrespective of the WHO stage of the disease, they will be initiated on ART. If you remember a few years back, the cutoff for initiation was CD4 less than 200 we would start on therapy, and then it was revised to 350 and below we would start on ART. But now with this treat all policy, irrespective of the CD4 count or the WHO staging or the spectrum of age and any other population, we have to start ART. That's what the treat all policy tells you. Now, there is a shift in global guidelines towards rapid ART initiation with this adoption of treat all policy. So, in a way, we can say that rapid ART initiation is an extension of treat all policy. Now, here the attention has been focused on how quickly the ART can be started once the diagnosis is confirmed and eligibility has been determined. The WHO 2016 consolidated guidelines also suggest that efforts should be made to reduce the time between HIV diagnosis and ART initiation. That means we must actively try to reduce the time gap between the diagnosis and initiation as quickly as possible based on the assessment of a person's readiness. So this was the policy adopted globally until around 2016. You can see that most of the countries where the disease burden is high, ART should be initiated preferably within 2 weeks of diagnosis. That was what was being followed. And in special situations like pregnancy, newly diagnosed patients who are in active labor and who are seriously ill, ART was considered to be started as early as possible. So by and large, most countries adopted a policy where ART was started less than 2 weeks from the point of diagnosis. And subsequently, a lot of studies were done, and the benefits and risk of rapid ART initiation was slowly analyzed. So in this systematic review, 2,103 titles and 1,783 conference abstracts were screened, and out of which 65 studies were reviewed as full text. And after exclusion, 21 studies were finally reviewed, which included 3 randomized control trials, 11 observational cohort trials, and 5 qualitative studies, and including 2 costing studies. So these 21 studies data was reviewed, and the data was very much favorable for rapid initiation of ART. So it scored well on all the points: ART initiation and following up to day 90, remaining in care for 12 months on ART. The viral suppression was better, and long-term follow-up was better, and mortality rate was much lesser. So on all these fronts, it scored. Hence, these randomized control trials concluded that consistent evidence of improved clinical outcome, including reduced mortality, and more patients were initiated within 90 days, and the retention in care at 12 months, including viral suppression, was much better. So based on all these information, the WHO also gave recommendations for rapid ART initiation. Rapid ART initiation should be offered to all patients living with HIV following a confirmed HIV diagnosis and clinical assessment. So that is recommended now by WHO, and it has a very high quality of evidence based on all this data. As told earlier, rapid initiation is defined as starting ART within 7 days from the day of diagnosis. In patients living with HIV, people with advanced HIV should be given priority to start much earlier also. And if possible, ART initiation should be offered on the same day to people who are ready to start. This recommendation also has a high quality of evidence. So after counseling the patient, if they are convinced and give the consent, then it is preferable to start ART on the same day. That is the whole idea behind this rapid ART initiation. Now let's see the Indian scenario, how we have adopted these changing policies. So India in 2021, 11th of January, the NACO through an official memorandum has adopted officially the policy of rapid initiation of ART for newly diagnosed patients. So the letter says that with adoption of treat all policy, all patients living with HIV are eligible for rapid ART initiation irrespective of CD4 count or WHO staging. However, despite treat all policy, significant proportion of patients were still not initiated on ART. Therefore, it is decided to ensure rapid or same day ART initiation in the newly diagnosed patients. So to guide this, they have also released an algorithm which we will go through subsequently. So the whole idea is to extend this treat all policy to rapid ART initiation so that if possible, ART can be initiated on the same day. So this is a graph which shows the statistic between the number of patients living with HIV who are registered during a financial year and the number of people who are initiated on ART. So as you can see, the percentage was 87. So only 87% were initiated on ART in 2017. Subsequently, that percentage has slowly increased to 91, 92. And with the adoption of rapid initiation of ART, that percentage is expected to increase much, and the gap between the two is expected to come down further. Now, there could be some patients' perspectives why rapid initiation is difficult. Reasons for not registering at ART center, where sometimes patients may say that they were not feeling well, they did not feel the need to start the treatment. So this was the common idea in 30% of the patients. They did not feel the need to start ART treatment. So other less common reasons are they were busy, they could not, financial difficulties, opposition by family members, and multiple visits were required before registration. So these were some other less common hindrances. However, if we understand the first line, that is 30% of the patients actually did not feel the need to start. So it's very important that if we counsel them well, if we make them mentally prepared to face what was to come, then I think more number of people will be ready to start ART early. So that's the rationale of this. So these are the common reasons why patients may not initiate ART early because of financial problems. So these are the common reasons which are given. 2 times to come to ART center means a lot of expenses that I spend for traveling and loss of work on that day. So patients who are daily workers, they will have to lose a days of salary to come for ART initiation again and again. So this is what can be prevented if we try to adopt policy of rapid ART, where you can preferably start ART on the same day. So a lot of these issues could be avoided. So understanding this from a patient's point of view and from a public health point of view, we have to somewhere find a fine balance. From public health perspective, what we would want is maximize patient outcomes. That is, we want more number of patients to be enrolled to ART. The long-term follow-up should be good. The mortality rates overall should come down. We want to achieve epidemic control by increased coverage and access to ART. And by rapid ART, starting ART to all the patients, as many number of patients as possible who are ready to start and do not have any contraindications. Whereas from an individual point of view, what we would see when a patient of HIV comes, we want to make sure that they don't have any opportunistic infection. If there is an opportunistic infection, first treat the infection. If they have comorbid conditions, then take that into consideration before starting ART. And preparedness, if patient should be mentally prepared and counseled adequately to be on regular follow-up. So these are the challenges which we have at a public health level and at an individual level. So somewhere we have to find a fine balance and a differentiated care approach versus a patient-centric approach. So the rationale of adopting this rapid ART under national program is the same. It is to strengthen the treat all policy under a national AIDS control program to ensure universal access to ART, bridge the gap between detection and ART initiation. That is more important. We want to bridge the gap, reduce the number of time delay between onset of diagnosis and ART initiation, reduce long-term follow-up, and particularly it will benefit people in hard to reach geographical areas. And as we have seen with the data, there is better health outcomes, faster viral load suppression, reduction in opportunistic infections and mortality, and prevents transmission and reduces the stigma. So overall, this is favorable for the patient also in terms of health outcome as well as convenience for the patient. So let's go through the algorithm which the NACO guidelines have released. So this we have discussed what are the considerations for ART initiation, why we need to start early. All patients with confirmed HIV infection should be referred to ART center. They will be registered in an ART center. History, clinical examination, and baseline routine investigations will be done, and then patient will be staged. Then chemoprophylaxis and management of opportunistic infection, if any. And after preparedness and counseling, timely ART initiation. That is the goal of this policy. The introduction of treat all recommendation supports rapid initiation of ART, including the offer of same-day initiation where there is no clinical contraindication. So as I said, rapid initiation of ART means we want to start as early, less than 7 days, preferably same day. So if there is no contraindication, we should try to see if we can start on the same day. Patient living with HIV should be assessed to readiness to ART initiation. This is very important. The patient may not be mentally prepared, but we should not be imposing on them to start on the same day. Patient should be counseled and their readiness has to be assessed before initiation of ART. This algorithm focuses on clinical screening of patients living with HIV for potential presence of common opportunistic infections or any other comorbid conditions. So as I said, if there are no other issues, then patients can be started on the same day. But if there are other potential reasons why it cannot be started, then those reasons have to be attended first. So this is the algorithm. What we see here is that patients will initially be screened. We will ask them the symptoms. If they don't have any symptoms, then we go to the second step, which is examination. If they don't have any findings suggestive of any systemic illness, then we go for the next step, which is whether patient has any comorbid conditions. If the question for all the three things is negative, then we go for patient readiness. We counsel the patient and assess the readiness of the patient. For patient living with HIV with psychosocial concerns or comorbid substance use, they need to be counseled adequately before starting ART. So these three things are firstly important: whether the patient has any symptoms, whether there is any examination abnormal finding which are suggestive of some systemic illness, or patient has comorbidities. If the question for all these three is negative, then we go for counseling. And if you see the time frame, all this has to happen on the same day. So if all the three questions are negative, then and patient is ready, then on the same day, preferably ART initiation has to happen. Now ART to be dispensed for 1 month, and concurrently we can send for CD4 count and other investigations. So we'll see this algorithm in a little depth. So we commonly screen the patients for symptoms which include fever, cough, weight loss, night sweats, or persistent headache, or any other serious symptoms. If yes, patient has any symptoms, then we need to do appropriate investigation, diagnose the patient, and manage the condition before you start ART. And here we can take expert consultation, or patient can be referred to other specialty for specialist care. If patient may not, sometimes patients may not have any symptoms, but when you examine, we can find objective evidence of some systemic illness. We look for temperature, increased rate of breathing, tachycardia, tachypnea, altered mental status. This can indicate neuroinfection or any other neurological deficits. Patients unable to walk. So in all of these examination findings, we definitely have to again refer the patient for appropriate diagnosis and management, investigation, attend to the cause of the specific illness, and only then start ART. Or if the patient has comorbid conditions, patient may have had tuberculosis, patient may be a known case of diabetes, uncontrolled diabetes, hypertension, or kidney disease. Now, it can have a relevance to the ART regime. So all these has to be taken into consideration. So again, patient needs to be evaluated if it is acute chronic disease or chronic kidney disease, acute or chronic kidney disease. So appropriately that has to be managed, and only then subsequently we can consider starting ART. However, if the answer to these three questions is negative, we can straight away go to the fourth step, which is readiness assessment, where we assess and counsel the patient and the family members. And if patient is willing, then preferably same-day ART can be initiated. And after initiation, subsequently patients need to be followed up. The review, patient needs to be called for review as soon as possible, preferably within 2 weeks of ART initiation. ART counselor also to call all patients and ask about the general well-being in this 2-week period. So ART preparedness counseling is a critical part of the ART initiation process, because if patient is not willing, he cannot be forced, but he can be counseled and help to make an informed decision. ART should be started based on patient's informed decision and preparedness to begin the treatment. Caregivers must also be counseled and trained to support treatment adherence, follow-up visits, and share the decision making. ART staff should familiarize themselves to new counseling messages around treat all policy, rapid initiation, viral load monitoring, and differentiated care. Prepared counseling requires reinforcement approach, and the quality counseling sessions for preparedness should be continued even after the ART initiation. Especially, we have seen that during the first 3 months, that is the time when most of the patients, for some reason or the other, they may discontinue the medicine. So during this initial first 3 months, it is very important to adequately counsel the patients. Counselors should identify patients living with HIV having risk factors associated with poor adherence or poor retention, and must provide individualized focus counseling. So individualized counseling is very important. Patients will be from different backgrounds. They may have multiple other issues, personal, social issues. So individualized counseling is important. Along with that, peer counseling should also be part of the initial counseling. At least one counseling session should be provided to the caregiver in first 3 months. And patient-centric focused counseling should be provided for special groups, especially children, adolescents, and pregnant women. So this is the chart which showed the preparedness and follow-up, where we initially counsel the patient, explain the patient about ART, that it is a lifelong therapy, what are the benefits of ART, what are the side effects of the drugs, and this is a form which I'm sure all of you are available, where we also document subsequent follow-up visits following initiation. So first 3 months of follow-up will be there in this format. Now, ART initiation should follow the overarching principles of providing people-centric care. A rapid ART start is especially important for people with very low CD4 count. So when Patients are having very low CD4, baseline CD4, and they have a higher risk of dying. So early initiation in this group is more important. People should not be coerced to start immediately and should be supported in making an informed choice regarding when to start ART. Patients who are unwilling to start on the same day, they should be offered opportunity within the 7 days of diagnosis. Maybe on that same day, patients are not mentally ready. The counseling may take some time. Patients may need to some time to think over and come to a formal conclusion. So if they are not willing to start on the same day, they should be offered opportunity to start within 7 days of diagnosis. But by and large, we must try and see that all patients living with HIV newly initiated on ART should be actively called by counselor within 2 weeks and supported to ensure retention in care, particularly in the first 3 months. So there are some situations where we may not be able to rapidly initiate ART despite seeing the overwhelming evidence that we should start on day 1 if possible and as early as possible. There are some situations where it may not be possible. So let us see how to go about in those situations. If patient is having undiagnosed active infection with fever, we don't know the diagnosis. Patient is having fever. So rather than starting ART, we need to first diagnose and treat the cause of fever and then start ART. So the time frame here is not defined, but treat the infection and start as soon as possible. In presence of tuberculosis, first we are going to treat the tuberculosis, start ART as soon as possible before 2 months. But for those with CD4 less than 50, it is preferable to start ART within 2 weeks of ART initiation. If patient is having a new PCP pneumonia, we are going to first treat the PCP pneumonia, and the treatment generally is completed in the 3 weeks. So after completion, ART can be initiated. Whenever invasive fungal infection is there, so again, patient needs to be treated for that fungal infection and then started. Cryptococcal meningitis, again, this is a very difficult infection. Sometimes it takes a longer time for treatment, generally 3 weeks, but it can take up to 3 to 6 weeks. So ART has to be started within 6 weeks. For HIV TB co-infection, TB treatment should be initiated first, followed by ART as soon as possible, again within 8 weeks of treatment. That is a high quality of evidence for this recommendation. However, patients who have immunosuppression, severe immunosuppression, CD4 is less than 50, we have to try to start as early as possible, preferably within first 2 weeks of the initiating TB treatment. For patients living with cryptococcal meningitis, due to the risk of life-threatening iris, immediate ART initiation is not indicated. We defer ART initiation until there is evidence of a sustained clinical response. After 4 to 6 weeks of induction and consolidation treatment, ART can be considered. So similarly, other common infections where you get the situation is bacterial pneumonia. We treat the pneumonia first and then ART is initiated. Again, timeline is not defined, preferably within 2 weeks. Malaria, treat the malaria first and then ART can be initiated. Acute diarrhea, in which patient may have issues with absorption of ART. So diagnose the cause, treat the diarrhea first, and then once patient is stable, ART can be initiated. If hemoglobin is less than 9, ART can be started if no other cause for anemia are found, because HIV per se could be the cause. So less than 9, ART can be initiated. In other conditions, again, as soon as the condition resolves, ART needs to be started with the idea that start ART at least less than 15 days or as early as possible. So the parameters which we monitor are going to be the same. We look for clinical and immunological improvement, viral suppression, and improvement in quality of life. So patient will be monitored for drug adherence, CD4 count, and viral load. So for iris, certain opportunistic infections may appear after starting ART. So we need to look out for them. Always when we screen, we look for 4S screening for tuberculosis, the 4 common symptoms, including cough, fever, night sweats, and weight loss. So what are the key points of this rapid ART initiation? Rapid ART initiation can improve program outcomes by improving linkage with ART and reducing pre-ART loss of follow-up in preparedness phase. So initiate ART on the same day in patients living with HIV with no significant opportunistic infection and comorbidity with recommended prophylaxis after patient counseling. Defer ART initiation if patient is having serious opportunistic infection like TB or cryptococcal meningitis, it can be deferred. Preparedness counseling to be continued for 3 months with intensive following and monitoring. So that's about it. If anybody has any comments, we can share your comments.
Participants can unmute themselves if they have any questions. I think there's some problem with the chat box. If there are any questions, participants are requested to please unmute themselves. So I don't think there are any questions.
Okay. I think someone
Thank you,
has
sir.
to share the
Yeah.
PowerPoint. Someone has requested to
Yeah. The PowerPoint will be shared with the participants.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, then can we
Session, sir.
then?
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for this informative session, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Well done, no?
Thank you.
Everything went smoothly.
Tonight the topic is also
I was listening.
latest topic is January
Okay.
20.